So far this year, we're probably looking at about 1 in 2 properties that go to tender and deadline having any offers on the day. That's not to say that those offers are strong enough to necessarily sell, but there is an offer there to consider. The other 1 out of 2 properties are taking a little bit longer to sell.
Some weeks we are seeing better percentages, but they are obviously balanced out by the weeks where we aren't. And it can be a little bit random, and obviously the data can be skewed by how many we have closing on the day, but yeah, about 50% on average. It doesn't necessarily say anything about your home if it doesn't end up selling at a tender or a deadline. There's many reasons that this can be. It can be totally due to the market, or it can be due to some of the factors with the house. The places we're seeing get a lot of attention and get multiple offer situations are much like they have been for a good couple of years now. Renovated homes, particularly kind of in that 700,000 to 1.5 million mark, I'd say. So obviously sort of starter homes to young family homes, and certainly places that don't have a lot of work to be done. We're seeing buyers run from, any kind of structural issues that need to be amended, but absolutely flocking to beautifully renovated, well-presented homes.
What it can say about the process is maybe there are a few things not quite hitting the mark, and that will often be around the price guide given to the market. So if a home does have a buyer inquiry over as part of their marketing, it is possible that that just hasn't hit the market in a way where they recognise value. We do a lot of work to make sure that our clients are well aware of what's happening in the process before we hit tender. So if we think there is a strong chance we won't be getting offers on the day, we start talking about that earlier in the week of the tender closing, so that there's no surprises, and that by the time we get to Thursday, which is our usual tender closing day, we've already got plan B locked in. And that will often be a refresh of the marketing. So maybe that's a new main photo, a new headline, could be a tweak of that BEO. And then one of the other things that James and I have done really successfully for the last couple of years is, rather than just sit there bobbing around in the ocean waiting for someone to come find us, we actually put another deadline on the process. So the tender's come and gone, we make all of those changes within the marketing, and then we put another deadline in place for a couple of weeks down the track, because if people don't have a date that they have to make a decision by, they struggle to make a decision.
Yeah, we often run kind of a 2.5 week process or a 3.5 week process. So that tends to be 2 to 3 open homes. And we usually know by that second open home whether we've hit the mark when it comes to pricing. You can obviously have a fluke open home for your first week. So sometimes it can be a little bit hard to judge, but by that second open home, we usually know how much interest we're working with there. And then from that point is where we start discussing other strategies like changing up the pricing and the marketing. Buyers are notified by TradeMe and other portals when certain things are changed, and that includes pricing, sale method, and occasionally open home times and things like that, but they can be a little less consistent. In terms of what we do, we always send out an email when anything important changes, whether that's new viewing times, offer documents available, or any important information that we should be getting out to buyers. So we always send out an email to everyone to inform them about that.
The other thing we're doing for most of our properties that do not sell in that first tender campaign is we also do a re-edit of the social media video that we've used to then communicate any change in the strategy, whether that is the BEO or the new deadline on it, give it a bit of a fresh look, and then put that out and boost that so that we can reach the wider market. And that will often then hit another 20, 25, 30,000 people, and that helps spread the word that we've made some changes.